Howdy folks, this is Jared with Fluty Homestead. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. And today we're going to be making an old-fashioned apple pie. And this is the Appalachian style. This is a stacked apple pie. And that just means they would make them and they just keep stacking these little thin apple pies up. And these are a little thicker than the traditional ones. But we're going to show you how easy it is to make this. This is one of the most simple pies you could ever make. So come along and let's get to baking. Okay, the first thing you need when you're making an apple pie, of course, is apples. And these here have been cooking down for about an hour. These are June apples that come off our tree. And you see now they're like a real thick, chunky applesauce. So these have been froze. We peeled them and froze them. And I just dumped them in the pan froze and turned it on to low heat and let them just sit and simmer. Okay, we got everything we need all sitting out here. And the way I'm going to be making this pie crust is not like a traditional pie crust you find online. We're going to be using the self-rising flour. And we use Hudson cream self-rising flour for everything we cook. And as far as I know, that's the best flour they ever made. We're going to be using the Crust shortening. This is just Prairie Farms whole milk. And then we need water and sugar. And let's see, I've got my flour all measured out here in this bowl. And I'll tell you how much of everything we're going to be putting in here. The first thing before you start mixing this, you need to get your shortening out into a little pan and let it melt. You don't have to get it super hot, just hot enough to melt it. And I've got mine on the stove already melted. So we're going to get this started mixing together now. We're going to start out by putting 2 cups of flour. We're going to put a 1/2 cup of milk. We're going to put a 1/2 cup of water. Get my shortening. And then we're going to put us a 1/2 cup of this melted shortening. I got to measure it out. And there's half. And then we still have a little left, and we're going to need that to grease our pans with. Okay, let me get me a spoon here. Right here's me a spoon. Now we're just going to mix this together now. And this is about like making a dumpling dough. And I'm sure you could use this for a dumpling, there ain't no difference in it. You can see here what it looks like, because I'm mixing it, it's getting stiffer. Alright, I'm going to bring my camera around here and show you up close here what I do now. Okay, now that we're all turned around here, what we're going to do now, I'm going to put just a little flour on this, kind of knead it down. I'll just reach right in here with my hand. And then we're going to go ahead and flour our countertop here too, where I'm going to roll this out. You got to keep her floured up so it don't stick. And I'm going to flour my rolling pan a little bit. That ought to do it. We're going to be making 2 pies today. And these are 2 very, very old pie pans. This is around here, this is the most popular pie pan I'd say they ever made. I think it's like a 9-inch pan. These are just thin as paper, little tin pans. And these 2 is my great-grandma Fluty's. And a lot of people I know have oodles of these, and they make them. So, we're going to get back to our dough now. And we're just going to knead this over a little. Okay, before we get our dough rolled out, we're going to go ahead and grease our pan here a little bit before I get my hands all nasty. And we're going to put us about a tablespoon in there and see how it goes. That's still a little warm. I better set him back on the stove. So we're just gonna take our hand, rub that shortening around in these pans. Now you could use whatever grease you want for that. You could probably use oil or lard, whatever you want. All right, we'll roll him around in this one. Okie dokie. Now we're going to pinch us off a piece of this dough. And I don't know, that's about big as a good baseball. And I think that'll be big enough. Now we're going to move this bowl out of the way. Now we're going to roll this out just as thin as we can get it. Now I ain't real good at rolling this dough out around, but you don't want it thick, because if you get it too thick, it'll be like a little biscuit. Okay, that's almost big enough for that little pan. Yeah. We're going to start with it. Now, we're just going to grab this little thing, swap him over. We'll put a little flour on the pan. Then we're going to lay him right on here. Whoop. Now I messed that side up just a hair, so we'll just take this a little piece. And press him in. And we want it to tuck down to the edges there. Okay, there's that one. Now we're going to get us this one here. I'm trying to make it rounder this time. Oh yeah, that's what you want right there. That is going to be good. But roll him plumb up. Okay, we got that. Now we're going to do the same thing. Fold him over. Lay him in our pan. All right, just like that. Now let's get our apples. We'll fill these rascals up. Okay, we got our apples over here now, and we're going to fill our pies up. And also, I've had my oven preheating on 350 degrees, so it's ready to go as soon as I get these ready. And these don't have to be real thick. These are going to be like old old-fashioned stacked apple pies. just a little more. Oh yeah, that's good. Now we're gonna fill this bigger one up. That was about 2 quart bags of apples that I had froze. So it'll take about a quart of pie. This round pan here with the slick edge holds a little more than this fluted one. So we're just going to dump the rest of him right in there. That'll do it. Okay, now we got to put us a top on these babies. You don't want that flour on the bottom of your pan. So we'll divide this in half. And hopefully that's enough. I'll get my flour here. Alright, I'm gonna roll them out again. Let me get a little more flour. Getting a little sticky on me. Nice and thin. They're about like rolling out. They look about like the thickness of a tortilla. That's what they look like. Okay. That ought to cover a little one. Alright, here we go. Yeah, just the right size. Okay, now here's the trick. Make sure it's sitting in there good. Now, we're going to squeeze this thing together. Alrighty, once you get them squeezed, we're going to take and get this excess off. And you're going to put your hands on it and roll it over. And that'll help keep your crust together. And right there's one pie. And now we're almost done with him, so we'll put him over here till we get this other. Get this flour out of the way. Just enough. Alright. I'm going to squeeze them together. Okay, now I'm going to get a knife on this one and cut this off because it don't have this sharp edge, but I can just pinch it off on this one. So I'm going to get a knife, we'll cut this off and go from there. Okay. I'm going to cut this off right on the top here. Okay. Make sure it's squeezed together real good. And now you could take this and roll him up, mix him up, and if you had to, put you a little more milk and oil in there, thin that down, and make you another dough out of it. Or you can make fried pies out of this, whatever you want. Now we're going to grease these up. I'll take the rest of my melted shortening and put it on here. I'll take this spoon and just roll him around on here, cover all the top. It takes about a spoonful on each. Just like that. Now, you got to do this right here or it'll all bubble up and look awful. Now we're going to take us a fork and just put us a bunch of holes in it. All over. That'll let that air out of there. Alrighty. And then lastly, I'm going to sprinkle me just a little dab of sugar on the top. Not a whole lot. Okay, these are ready to go in the oven. Okay, we're going to put our pies in the oven now. Don't want to get burned. Okay, so they're in the oven on the middle rack there on 350, and you just cook them till they start to get brown, but I'll try to time it and let you know how long it takes, because you just want to go till they get brown, then we'll put them on broil for a minute. So I'm going to set me a timer, then we'll get back with you. Okay, our pies have been in the oven on 350 for 30 minutes now, and it's hard to see because it's so dark, but they're starting to get a little bit golden brown on top. So I'm going to turn my oven on broil now. The crust is all nice and brown on the edge and the top's getting a little brown, so I'm going to put my oven on broil and I want to brown the top of them just a little bit more. Let's see, broil. And it won't take but a few minutes on broil, so don't run off and leave them. Don't be getting on Facebook and get carried away, because you'll burn them up. So we'll give them just a few minutes and we'll keep a good eye on them, and then we'll get them out and let them cool. Okay, they are done. We're going to get them out and try not to get burnt. So you see here, they get nice and golden brown on top. It's hotter than a match too. That's the prettiest one in this little fluted pan here. Alright, I'm gonna get me another rag, and then I'm gonna get these out and we'll stack them up. There you go. Stacked apple pies. You just keep a stacking. That's the old-fashioned Appalachian way they'd make apple pies. And all the people I've talked to said they'd have them stacked up, sometimes 8 or 10 pies high. And this is pretty thick too. A lot of them's real thin. So that was the traditional way. It's just real thin little apple pies, and they just stack them up. And these little pans right here is probably the most popular pie pans there was. Do a real fine job, and they just wiggle out and you just slide them right out, and we'll just leave them here, let them cool, and then these will be going to dinner tomorrow. Okay, we got our pies all done, and we're going to just leave them on this plate right here, and we're going to just leave them until they cool. And it's better not to cut them while they're too hot, because they'll just ooh out on you. But you let them sit till they're a little cooler, and then you can cut them up, and you talk about some good eating, especially with a good cup of black coffee. So hope this helps you, and hope you realize just how simple this is. And I'll make sure to put the full recipe down in the description, so you can follow it step by step as close as what I can give it to you. So I hope you enjoy this apple pie, and hope you and your family enjoy it, and appreciate y'all watching. Hope you have a very blessed day.